This is my first time going through this, so I can give my initial reaction of all this shit. Purity of intention. 1. Purity of intention consists in doing the will of God in all things from the motive of pure love. Okay, so the will of God. I don't even know really. Preaching? What? Doing the will of God. Why do you want to do the will of God? How is the will of God good, beneficial to people? Why is there a will of God? Why can't God just let us to live how we want? Now, you probably want to live for the will of God, but the question then would be why you want to and want everyone else to, and why you would disagree with anyone being allowed to live for what they want to do, or live for their own desires, which would be, well, anything that's not the will of God, basically. Because you guys could try to bend that because you're so dishonest and just full of shit that you would say, well, we want to. That's what we want. I've made that mistake in the past, but and if this is pure love, then maybe love is the problem. Because I don't want to do the will of God, whatever that is. I know it's not in my own favor. It's in his favor, which is not what I'm interested in. So, love is obviously what got me into this mess of an existence. As you believe God exists, obviously parents do it, but that's still bullshit. We should not be egocentric. Only God is allowed to be egocentric, and you agree with his, but theocentric. Again, God is allowed to be theocentric. Well, that's what, yeah. In other words, we should perform all our actions not for our own satisfaction, but why do you want to please God? Why does God deserve to be pleased? You know? How is God good for wanting to be pleased? Since God is our final end, why do we have an end? Why do you approve of this final end? Everything should be done for him. Why? And why do you want it to be done for him? Why does God deserve anything to be done for him? Little and everything. Why are we so often agitated and discontented? Yeah, good question. Obviously a lot of atheists are also, but you guys are the ones that are just pissed off about everything about this world. You're pissed off that the fallen world is behaving like a fallen world. You hate everything. Everything secular you hate, or you claim to. And a lot of you indulge in that secular whatever. Hypocrisy is a big symptom of religious belief, or, well, indoctrination. Obviously not all of you are indoctrinated. Some of you are genuinely sick in the head, but why are we so often agitated and discontented? Okay, so why is God... Well, you're still agitated and discontented by the fallen world, even though you say everything is about God. If everything was about God, you wouldn't even posted this shit, Father V. It's not about you. It's about God, according to this. You're the one saying it. It is because we are looking for success and the approval of men. I can agree that these are, well, not really all wrong, but that's basically, well, God isn't looking for success or the approval, he's looking for obedience, so how does that make God any better anyway? Aside from these not being the greatest, not really virtues. If we do not get these, we imagine that we have failed. Well, I could say that God failed. Not that I believe he exists, but according to what you guys preach and believe, and what the Bible says, God is God is almost as bad as us. Well, he's worse than us. Men judge the value of an enterprise by its external success and by the amount of work which went into it. It is not so with God. God is about obedience. How is that any fucking better? And judgment. How is that any fucking better? How does that make it? How does both the desire for obedience and judgment, along with punishment and hell, make God good? How is that loving, merciful, and justified? How is that benevolent? From the sincerity of our desire to please Him. How is this good? You come down on success and social approval, but then you go on about pleasing God. How is that any fucking better? Because He's God? How is that a valid answer or reason? That isn't love. And if it is love, then fuck love. Love is the problem. God is the problem. This is enough for Him. Success is not necessary. Enough for Him. It's a problem. Well, you guys are the ones that are being so preachy and propagandist and, angry with atheists and just hating of everything in this world. Everything of the secular world. Obviously, judgment and eternal damnation for us isn't enough for you guys, to appease you guys, despite your claimed belief in this God. Success is not necessary. If we do everything for the love of God. Okay, I've already debunked the love part. Purity of intention in our actions is fundamental in the Christian life. So why do you want the Christian life, and how is purity of intention good? If thy eye be sound, Jesus Himself tells us thy whole body will be full of life. The whole body will be full of darkness. Who created the darkness? How does the darkness exist if God is incapable of evil and only capable of good? Explain that. Free will? No. The darkness would have to exist beforehand for that free will to trigger it. It's just like Republicans saying that weed is a gateway drug. Well, weed already existed. Weed was already there. It exists. Otherwise, it couldn't be a gateway drug. Sin doesn't exist. Sin didn't exist. Adam and Eve were both created by God, so sin can't exist by definition. That definition being that the absence of God. Therefore, were Adam and Eve absent of God? No. So, how could darkness exist? And even if it was caused by free will, wouldn't have anything to do with God. Darkness is not something that Jesus can save us from. Of course, self-denial is not being saved. That's blackmail. Man seeth those things that appear, but the Lord beholdeth the heart. Blah, blah, blah. A man who works solely for the love of God will have the great peace of soul. Obviously not, because, you guys are angry. Now, a lot of atheists are also angry, but you guys are the ones who claim to be all about God. And, just completely altruistic for it. Absolute altruism going on here. That's what you guys are claiming, but, listen to you guys. Being saved is obviously not peace. And everlasting reward in the next. So why does reward require so much why does it require absolute self-denial? And if it's all about self-denial, how is a reward involved? It's not about you. How can a reward be involved in a fucking life of self-denial and absolute altruism toward God? How can a reward be a part of that equation? Another contradiction. But if in our actions we seek our own satisfaction or the praise of men, we shall already... Well, religion is about the praise of men because it's about community. If you step out of line, what happens then? You get banished by men, right? So how is Christianity even any different from that in terms of society or community? We shall have already received our reward on earth and resolve it in, okay, heaven. Now, why would I want to be in heaven if it's full of people like you who approve of this shit? And also people who are bigoted and whatever else. Why do I want to spend an eternity with psychopaths like you? People who, you're psychotic, you're bigoted, you're hateful, you're vengeful. You guys are assholes. I don't want to be with you guys, be around you guys. Now, hell being the only alternative to the fucking reward of heaven, I'll take it based on that circumstance. Christianity only provides hell as an alternative to heaven. Why isn't non-existence an option? Why can't we have that? And not only that, but how can heaven be so if it's all about self-denial or continued or eternal self-denial? Why would we want to go there if it's based on that? And if everything here is forbidden that we like, why would we want to be in heaven if everything we like about this mortality on earth is forbidden? Or why would it be forbidden if it's allowed in heaven? Which I don't see how it can be if it's all about self-denial. I mean, you keep talking about this reward. What the fuck? You live a life of self-denial, for God's will, but there's a reward for it? What are you going to do with this reward? Wouldn't indulgence in the reward be a sin? Wouldn't that be the opposite of this purity of intention? Inspired by the love of God, already debunked love or questioned it, broke it down, transforms even our most trivial actions and makes them pleasing. What? How much is left? Yeah, I think I can stop it there. That's bullshit. 15 minutes. I don't like that.